So in this next exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to have a character that gets 4 cantrips. Now, these cantrips can be from any spell list, whether it's Warlock, Bard, Cleric, Sorcerer, what have you, and we're going to just give a quick explanation of why we chose these. So pretty much our top 4 cantrips if we're able to pick from anything. Now I'm going to go ahead and lead us off, and the very first one is one of my absolute favorite cantrips, and that is Guidance. I feel that especially in social situations or non-combat areas, being able to either give yourself or one of your allies an extra d4 on an ability check is going to come in very, very handy, especially if you take in like a social situation. You can pat them on the back, say, you know, hey, I know you can do this, and they go in and to ask their boss for a raise or something like that, and then they're going to get that extra d4 on the persuasion check. So absolutely one of my favorites. The second cantrip that I absolutely love, and that's because I'm part germaphobe to begin with, is Mage Hand. Being able to just lift things at a 30-foot distance. There could be traps under things. There could be, you can open doors, things of that nature. And being able to do that at a distance from safety is positively one of my favorite things to do. I don't really want to touch and get my hands dirty with the chances of losing a hand or whatever the DM has planned. So definitely Mage Hand is one of my favorites. And then my third cantrip that I always like to pick if I can is Message. Being able to just send a whisper to one of my allies in a tactical situation if we're trying to be stealthy, or perhaps I'm in one room and they're in the next. Message always comes in really handy. It's got a 120-foot range, and you can it just enhances your ability to sneak around. And then fourth, I'm always of the opinion that you need to have at least one attack cantrip, and I've chosen Chill Touch. Now, Chill Touch is a 120-foot range. It does a d8 of damage that does scale starting at a 5th level, and also if you do damage to an undead, that undead will have disadvantage if it tries to attack you. It also prevents anyone from being able to heal, so if that skeletal hand grasps onto one of the enemies or someone you're fighting, they can't be healed or drink a healing potion or anything like that and regain hit points. So those are my 4 favorite cantrips if I had the book to choose from. Let's get everyone else's opinion. Logan, what 4 cantrips are your go-to?
My 4 cantrips. I agree with you, Wally. I think if you're going to be slinging spells and casting cantrips, you need at least one to attack with. And my personal favorite one is Eldritch Blast. Stealing a page out of the Warlock book. I love the range on Eldritch Blast. I love that it does force damage with not a lot of stuff is resistant to force damage. It's kind of a good universal damaging spell. And I especially love the ability that Warlocks get to be able to customize that, whether you're doing like an agonizing blast or what have you. Just different ways to enhance that, as well as, like you said, with scaling damage as you level up. Eldritch Blast can get really mean at higher levels, and I love that. The second one I picked is Mage Hand. Just like you, I love the ability to work on stuff at a distance. Mm-hmm. I love playing Arcane Trickster, especially with the Mage Hand Ledgerman, where it can be invisible, a little more sneaky, a little more discreet. And it makes a rogue's job of disabling traps a lot less dangerous.
Yeah,
it really helps, and it drives the DMs crazy, which is what casting spells is all about. My third pick is personally one of my favorite things is Minor Illusion. I love just illusions in general in all of their forms throughout D&D. They're just so fun to work with. You can use them in lots of different scenarios. In combat, if you need a good distraction, a minor illusion of a naked dancing gnome is it's pretty effective. You could just get so creative with that. And I love that it's anything that can fit in this 5x5 cube. You could do illusion of treasure, illusion of danger, I mean, anything. And the last one, which I've heard someone call it the Swiss Army knife of spells, but it's the cantrip Prestidigitation. Prestidigitation. Hardest part is just knowing how to say it. But I love that it's just so, the utility of it. I mean, between things like simple things like with lights and like lighting or snuffing flames, being able to clean or dirty something is a really fun thing. Make someone look like, they peed themselves is, probably the best use of it. I mean, me personally, I'm guilty of misusing this and abusing the limits of it. But I think, like I said, that's the whole point of of spells just to mess with your DM and and your fellow players. So
Nice.
yeah, those are my 4 picks for the cantrips: Eldritch Blast, Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, and Prestidigitation is in.
That's why I didn't pick that one, because I don't know how to say it. So I went to the wayside.
Neither do I.
Yeah, very good. How about you, Fred? You've got quite a few videos on cantrips, so I'm very interested to see what you're going to pick here.
Okay, so my 4 cantrips: guidance, because it improves the chance to, when you're rolling a d20 ability checks. I totally agree with you, Wally. It's a great spell. I'd certainly put it right up there at the top. Minor illusion, because you can do a lot of stuff with it. And I did a video with it on all the things you can do, which is, there's a lot. Mage Hand, simply, it's easy to use, and for all the same reasons you guys have all talked about. And I did a video on that as well. And yes, Prestidigitation, impossible to pronounce correctly. Yes, I did call it the universal magic Swiss Army knife or tool in Dungeons and Dragons, Logan. So that would be my next choice. And no, I haven't picked a damage dealing cantrip because I knew you guys thought I would, and so I didn't.
That's pretty sneaky, Fred. That's pretty sneaky. And how about you, Mark? Which cantrips did you pick?
Yeah, so I'm an offensive guy. So most of mine are offensive spells. So I would start. I like Eldritch Blast as well, for all the reasons Logan said. Like, he took all the reasons I would do it. So that's excellent. And I'm a warlock at heart. And Firebolt. I like anything that can hit someone with fire at a distance, 120 feet, and set them on fire. Yeah, I think that's definitely a bonus. So anytime I can set someone on fire at range, that's a great thing. And honestly, great for a squishy kind of character. If you don't want to get up close, you want to stay back there and plenty of range outside of the danger. If I had to get up close and personal, then Poison Spray with its 1d12 of poison damage. You got to get up within 10 feet to do that. So that's not something I would want to do all the time. But, sometimes you're not going to be at range and you're going to be up kind of close. So I want something that can kind of nuke them pretty good, at, especially a low level, 1d12. If it's a low level character, that's a really good start, that kind of damage. So I like that as a cantrip. And I like light, but not just because you light up the room, but I like to use it a little differently, or I have it touch a enemy on the nose. So therefore, everything they do from then on, while that's on them, is done at disadvantage, as long as the DM plays along with that idea. But they can't see really because that glowing light that's blinding them in the eyes. So I like to use it that way. So that's my cantrips: Eldritch Blast, Firebolt, Poison Spray, and Light.
Fantastic. Yeah, definitely. You can tell you're an old school D&D player with a lot of offensive cantrips there. All the damage.
Oh yeah,
all the damage,
nuke 'em, baby.
There you go. So those are the 4 cantrips we would pick if the entire book was open for us to choose. Be sure to leave a comment below and let us know what cantrips you would select in that situation. You are watching the D&D YouTube Roundtable. There's all kinds of additional videos. Be sure to check out the playlist and continue watching with the next video.